Oh, where are you taking me?
I'm gonna watch your booty. You're okay.
Oh.
You're okay. You're okay.
Am I on?
You got it?
I'm on.
You're on.
Oh.
There you go. That was easy.
You're so colorful.
I know. You're kind of colorful too. You have pink on. I wore colorful clothes today because I wanted to feel bright and shiny and shiny. Shiny's that so bright and colorful. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Although we're talking about an interesting topic today.
Yeah.
I wanted to still feel bright and colorful and cheery.
We want to talk about something that we've been noticing on our channel, especially after our last couple videos, because recently we went hiking on a trail, which was a ton of fun. We had a blast. And we got into the hot tub. Obviously, for me to do these things, it takes a little bit more effort, and there's inherently more risk involved. And for whatever reason, a lot of people in the comment section are coming in who I guess don't approve of our risky adventures.
A risky behavior.
Yeah, a risky business. And are coming at charisma.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. Saying charisma, like, I don't know why you'd force Cole to do this. Or charisma, why would you, encourage this behavior?
Yeah.
Or why would you let this happen? Why?
And it's not even just the video we just posted. We've seen this a lot where it's just like anytime something goes wrong or anytime something is done or I don't know, it's just always like the blame is put on me. I saw a comment, talking about, oh, Cole, charisma, Cole's clothes are fitting too big for him. You need to dress him better. When he was living with his parents, he dressed so much better. Also, when he was living with his parents, he was bigger. And so his clothes are bigger now because we need to go shopping because he's smaller. Like, there's just so many factors. And if Cole doesn't look perfect, if Cole does something that's risky, if Cole doesn't look like he's happy, it's my fault. And it is so exhausting.
Yeah, I don't really get what the root of it is, but that does seem to be the case. It's always on Charisma's shoulders for whatever reason. But like with the hiking thing, when we got the all-terrain wheelchair, I went above and beyond to coordinate with the man who loaned us the chair to make sure we had a trailer, to go get the trailer, go out of our way to make sure that we had what we needed so I could go on the hike. That was all driven by me because I wanted to do it. So I don't get why people are like, Charisma, why would you force him to do this? Like, you shouldn't make him do things just because you like him. I was like, no, I wanted to.
Yeah, I know, that was interesting. So I did see a comment saying you shouldn't force him to do stuff that you like. You can do your own stuff on your own. And I'm gonna be honest, Cole doesn't do many things that I like. No offense to Cole whatsoever. It's just that like, it's stuff that is so physical and it's so hard to do that I don't ever force him. So hiking was literally the first thing that we've done together that I really like. Oh, working out was the other thing. Those are like the two big things that we've ever done that I like. Other than that, I mean, shows. I guess we watch shows I like. Okay, maybe Cole does a lot of things I like, but I also do the same for him. I do a lot of things he likes, like watching Avengers for 40 hours.
It's good. Activities like this, they're a little bit risky. We want to live life at the same time. And something to keep in mind here is that there's risk with pretty much everything I do. Yeah. And that's just the reality. Like, for example, the other day I took Sophie on a walk. Well, Charisma came with us on this walk. I was going up a hill, and it wasn't a very steep hill, but it was steep enough that when my back spasmed and I went backwards, my whole chair tipped backwards. That is obviously not a good thing, and if I were alone, I would not have been able to get up by myself. Going outside and rolling down the street is a risk. Getting into an all-terrain wheelchair that's made for a certain purpose of going out on trails and stuff and then using it in that context, that's actually less risky in a sense than some of the other things, the simple things like rolling outside. Yeah,
and I guess in people's mind it's like necessary risk. What risk is necessary and what risks aren't. At the end of the day, we make our decisions together as a couple, and we had a ton of fun on that hike. And I think the music and like the darkening of the scene made it seem so much more intense on that bridge, but it like really wasn't.
Got me?
Yep. The other thing, we saw so many comments talking about Kelly Mama being mad at us for doing that, or would never let us do that. And we talked to her the other day. She was like, "What?"
She's like, "Oh, I would have been there."
Yes.
Oh, for sure.
That is just who we are as a family. Both of our families are like this. My dad and I want to skydive together. That has been on our bucket list forever. We have yet to do it, but like that is something we're gonna do together. We love taking adventures. We love having fun. Speaking about adventures and having fun, we wanted to talk about some of the adventures we've done together.
It's important to know that there are adventures out there that, yeah, they might have a little bit extra risk, but if you take the right precautions, if you put the right measures in place, you can do those things and have fun, and it's going to be okay. And we've had a lot of adventures like that. Not just the hiking and getting in the hot tub. I've gone surfing. The surfing trip, we've done that a couple of times. And if anything, that was probably the riskiest thing I've done.
Yes.
I was pretty scared during the surfing.
Absolutely. And so many people break their necks and have neck injuries while surfing or in the water, flipping, something that happens in the water. And that's exactly how Cole got injured. I also feel like people don't see that as risky because you had different people helping you. You had a lot of people helping you.
A bunch of volunteers. Compared
to it just being me, who sometimes I think people perceive me as being a little weaker than I am. Which...
She's super strong.
Yeah. I may not look like it, but I got some muscles, y'all.
And so we've done that. I went water skiing. That was a ton of fun. We've done indoor skydiving. We got on the State Fair Ferris wheel, which that was risky.
Yeah, for you and for our dads, that was a big challenge to get you on that.
Yeah.
We've taken risks by going to New York with just the two of us for 8 or so days. I mean, that is risky. Being in New York, just the two of us, we don't know the area. I mean, there's so many things in life that we've done that is considered risky to some people. Some people may not see it as risky, but everyone's risk scale is different.
And at the end of the day, here's the thing. I'm fine. I'm alive. And I'm happy that we've had all those really awesome experiences. Like, I'm stoked. Like, I feel like we've had an awesome past few years trying all these new things, going on all these adventures together. And if I wasn't willing to, assume a little bit of risk, I wouldn't have these experiences.
You know what I think? I think a lot of people see what we do as a couple as riskier because there's a disability, because Cole's disabled. And that's just the truth. I think if we were both able-bodied people doing the same exact things that we do in our channel, no one would say a thing, no one would call us risky. But because Cole's in a wheelchair and going over that bridge was inherently riskier because he had a chair, that's why people are saying it. I'm not saying that it's right, because that is in a sense ableism. Cole can do things just like anyone else. People with disabilities can do things just like anyone else. Also, that track chair was not going to go anywhere on that small bridge, guys.
No.
I mean...
It was fine.
It's heavy. It wasn't going anywhere.
With the music and, the suspenseful music and all that, we made it seem much more dramatic than it really was. We were all fine. We all knew that it was going to be okay. And we also didn't show the 15 minutes before we even crossed the bridge where we were thinking about it and planning it and making sure we were all certain it was going to be safe. There was actually very little risk there.
I know, it's just so hard to, people make assumptions, and it's so hard to see what truly went on behind the scenes. I mean, before we even went on the bridge, we were looking to see if we can just go through the water because we figured that'd be much easier. But no, it was worse going through the water because as soon as he got out of the water, he had to go up a super high incline, and his chair would have tipped backwards in that case rather than just going on the bridge.
So the bridge was the safest option.
Yep.
And it's interesting, again, everybody thinking that it's like charisma forcing me to do things. Well, the one time that we tried something that was a little risky and it did not go well, it was my idea.
What?
In Charlotte, when we got into the shower.
Yeah.
On our anniversary, this was our 2-year anniversary, which was supposed to be a very romantic, fun, relaxing night with each other. I was adamant that I wanted to get into the not accessible shower while Charisma took a bath. And so we got in just fine, but getting out did not go well. We ended up on the ground. There was bleeding, and then 40 minutes of trying to pull me over to the bed and transfer me up onto the bed from the ground, which is highly challenging. All of that because I really wanted to do something. I didn't have to. I chose to apologize for that because I know that that was my fault and we could have avoided that entirely. That just shows that, it's not her making all the decisions.
Yeah.
Like, if I want to do something, I'm like, yeah, I want to do it. Let's do it. Even when she says, maybe this isn't the best idea, I'm like, I think it'll be okay. And then it's not. But most of the time, it is, and we're happy.
Yeah, well, and like anyone else, you live and you learn. People make mistakes all the time. People do things that may not have been the best idea all the time. From the comments that I've seen, a few people, at least I hope, have this perception that like I kind of control what is done. I kind of control what Cole does, and I'm a huge influence on like getting him to do this, getting him to do that. And you know, in some degree that is probably accurate. I think me starting to date Cole, I think I have influenced him to try more things in life because of the person I am. I am extremely adventurous. I'm extremely spontaneous.
Which is why I wanted to marry you. I knew you were the one.
So I think that my personality has rubbed off on Cole to also force him to be a little bit more spontaneous and a little bit more adventurous.
Not even force, just encourage.
Sorry, encourage, yeah. And so like, I'm not controlling him to do anything. I'm not forcing him to do anything. Cole has a say in what he wears, what he eats. I mean, it's all his decision. You know, if he wants to eat a whole cake for dinner, okay, eat a whole cake. I'm not gonna tell him not to do something, or I'm not gonna tell him to do something. That is not, I'm not his mother, I'm his wife, y'all. I don't control his decision. What he wears is what he wears. If he doesn't match, I cringe a lot, but I don't make him change.
Only occasionally, if it's that bad.
Yeah, okay.
If it's that bad.
I do have a little bit of say in his fashion wear, but he has a say in mine too. I walk out, I'm like, what do you think? Does this look good? Does this look good? And he tells me. It's a team effort. We're a team.
And something else that I think is important to note is I am actually pretty risk adverse. If I think something is too risky, I'm not gonna touch it. And even in the hot tub video, you could probably sense that I was getting a little nervous. Like when we first dropped me in, I was like making sure I'm on it. Don't let me go, don't let me go, don't let me go. Like, hold on. He's like, I got you. Because I was really nervous, like, because I was thinking, shoot, if he lets me go right now, I'm going under, and that's gonna scare the crap out of me. Even though they were right there and there wasn't any risk, I was still worried. I'm sliding.
Yeah, it's okay, just relax.
All right, I'll just stay right here. If there are things that I'm looking at and I'm thinking about, and it's like, I have that like sense in the back of my head, this is too much, I'm not gonna do it. I've learned my lesson there already, and I'm not gonna do it. And nobody can force me to do that because I don't feel comfortable. I just really assess it. If I think we're good to go, let's go for it. Even if that's maybe a little bit more risk than someone else might take. You
know, I am the same way. People see me lift Cole in rare situations like this. I wanna remind you all, I do not lift Cole. Like, he transfers himself, he uses a sliding board, and even when I do help, I am not lifting. I am literally sliding his butt on the sliding board. I want to remind everyone, I don't lift Cole, I don't hurt myself.
You gotta save this back right here.
Yes.
This lovely back.
In the rare occasion that I do lift, we always do a 2-man carry. I'm usually on the legs because the legs are a lot lighter than Cole's upper body. I have lifted his upper body before once, and that was challenging.
And so we don't do that anymore.
Yes, and so I also don't take risks.
Sophie, what do you want?
She literally just like walked so slowly through the camera. I mean,
come on, jump.
Good oh girl. My goodness.
Good girl.
Well, like I was saying, I'm not gonna do something that I know is gonna be too challenging for me, that is gonna hurt my back. If I say I can't do this lift, I'm not gonna do it. We don't want to hurt ourselves. We don't want to hurt me. We don't want to hurt Cole.
We are in this for the long haul, and we plan many more adventures in the future. So we all want to last, you know? We want to go on adventures for a long time. We want to travel for a long time, and we want this whole picture of adventure to last.
Moral of the story, I do not control Cole. I do not control what he does. I don't force him to do anything.
But we force Sophie to love us. Yeah. Yes, we do.
No, she forces us to love her.
That's true.
She just demanded our attention in the middle of our video.
Anyways, appreciate you all watching. And of course, we appreciate your understanding as well.
Yes, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and stay positive. And thank you for watching all of our adventures, because they're going to keep happening. Like a lot.
They are.
A lot.
You're right.
Yeah. Oh.